Carly, this is JC, and welcome to another plugin of the week. For those of you who are maybe less familiar with us, we are Point Blank, an electronic music school. We've got courses here in London, a school in LA, Ibiza online, and a brand new school in Mumbai. And we offer courses in DJing, music production, sound engineering, and radio. You can head to our website, pointblankmusicschool.com, and find out a little bit more about our courses. And at the moment, we have 20% off all of our online courses and all of our LA courses. This is JC, our creative director, and today we're going to be chatting through Eventide's Ultratap delay plugin, Tresbon. And just a reminder that we are streaming live and we love your questions. So if you do have any, please post them in the comments section and we'll get to them a little bit later on. You like this one, don't you?
Yeah.
You're having a bit of fun with it before.
Yeah, certainly having.
Cool.
Just discovered it. I mean, it came out 1st of August. Mm-hmm. And it's on, there's a promotion. Everybody likes a promotion. It's on $49 until the 5th of September. So it's a plugin by Eventide, and those of you who've watched our plugin of the week before, we've done few Eventide plugins. This one is kind of looks a little bit in terms of the interface like the Black Hole.
Yeah, we
really like that one as well. And again, that one is based on this kind of same concept. Basically, it's a Ultratap. It used to be a preset back in early 80s in the first ever Eventide digital rack. And that was what was it? It was called the SP 2016. Mm-hmm. And then it was available later in the H3000, DSP 4000, H8000, our old classic studio FX rack, digital FX racks. And now it became available as part of the H9 guitar pedal. Yeah. And as you can see on the interface here, it says H9 plugin series. So it's likely to be more are going to come out. Mm-hmm. I think those pedals are really great, and it's great to have them as plugins now. So what is the Ultratap? Should we have a quick listen before?
Yes.
I mean, it's basically like the Black Hole. I think it's a delay, but with a twist on it. And it's great to create again. It's one of those plugins that is really creative, like the Black Hole. You can manipulate in real time, create a lot of texture, lot of really nice effects, and I think for electronic music it's really perfect.
Yeah, it sounds wicked.
So what I've done is I've put a very simple couple of musical part, but very simple, so we can hear what the effect does rather than have something very complicated, and then it's not really showing what the effect can do. So we've got a little bit. So you can hear there's a slightly small repetition. So what we're going to do first is let's explore some presets. We like presets, and I like all of those presets. They're really nice. You hear all those reverbs. And then let's try. You hear all the lovely textures that are going on in the background. I'm going to put it a bit further. I like that one. If you listen to that one, this one is really awesome. That's the effects. So sorry, I didn't have the volume full on, so now we've got it.
Nice.
It's really lovely, the textures that are going on in the background. So you see a lot of difference. And some crazy effect. Really love that. And they respond really well to any movement you're going to do to the sound. So you hear the kind of effects. I mean, there's a white texture. We could go on about it, but I think the best way to go about it is probably to start showing. Let's start with the drum and showing the basic. We're going to go through the parameters. So I'm going to reset everything. I'm going to keep the mix lock. Mix lock means whatever you go through the presets, the dry and wet is not affected, so I can go through presets without having to change that. So very useful features here, this mix lock. So wet, dry and wet, the usual thing. I'm using it as a sand here via a bus. So I've got it full on wet, so I can have my effects and my dry signal and I combine them together. So how does it work? The difference between that and a normal delay. A normal delay, you usually set up a time for the repetition. So it could be a 500 millisecond or a quarter of a note, depending if you lock it to the tempo of your song. And then you put a repeat feedback, and it gives you the number of repeat. An Ultratap delay, especially that one, works in different ways. So I think to start to explain how it works, I'm going to lock it. So here you've got a tempo, manual, sync or off. Okay. Manual is when you tap it. So I tap it and it's going to affect my times. But I'm going to put it in sync here, so that means it's going to sync to my tempo, which is 82. So I'm going to have, let's say, an eighth. Let's start with an eighth, maybe. An eighth. Go through all those features to show you all those parameters, guys. So let's have that on 0 as well, so we can go back to how it is working. So I'm going to start with the number of taps. So how it works, those two works really closely together, the taps and the length. The number of taps is the number of taps that's going to happen, a tap being a repetition. But the number of taps that's going to happen within the length. So if I put my length can go up to 4 seconds, I believe, if I go maximum. Yeah, 4 seconds. So I'm going to have 1 tap every 4 seconds. Or I can have up to 64 tap. At its core, it's a 64 tap delay, basically. So let's go back to a 1/8 for now. The 1/8 somewhere, yeah. And I'm going to have 1 tap. And I've put it just on the drums. Drum fill, glitchy effect, that kind of stuff. And now, so I've got 1 tap within 1/8. Okay. Now I'm going to have 2 tap, like 3. Now I've got 4 tap within 1/8. Okay. So you see how it works. And as I'm increasing it, the more tap you have in a short period of time, the more you're getting into the kind of comb filtering effect, chorusy, already 10. So I mean, to create some really interesting texture, so that's the concept of it. And then if we increase the time, we've got less time, less tap in a longer period of time. So here I've got a whole note, so a whole bar. As a 16. So you see the idea. Okay. So that's the concept of how it works. Then we've got the pre-delay. The pre-delay is to offset when the first tap comes. So at the moment it comes straight away, but if I put another bar, it's going to take a whole note to, not a bar, but a whole note every 4. So 1 every 4, it's going to be delayed. Okay. Nothing, and then it comes on. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Okay. Then we've got the spread. The spread is interesting. It's kind of like slow down or speed up the space between the tap. So in negative, it's going to slow down. So let's have a listen. And they're becoming slower. I pre-delay down completely so we can hear it quicker. Have a listen here. You see how it's slowing down. And whereas here, if I do that, and it speeds up. So again, can create some really, really interesting rhythmical things with that. Furthermore, what do we have? Here we've got the taper, the tapper or taper, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's about the volume. So here, going plus, the taps are decreasing volume-wise.
Okay.
And they're becoming quieter. If I do the opposite, it's the opposite. They're becoming louder. And it goes up in volume.
Okay.
Quite interesting again. So straight away you can tell there's lots of interesting texture that you can do with that. Then we've got the width. The width, it's how it's panning depending on how it is. So it starts on the right and starting to move a little bit. We've got it in the middle here. But we're going to start getting some interesting pan movement. Then we've got the tone. The tone is literally brighter or duller. So let's try that. Really like when it's becoming really thin, we're using the bottom end. There's some really interesting texture happening, whereas here, all the taps are duller, cutting off the top frequencies. Yeah? Now, the Slurm, I love that. I love the name of it, but I also love what it does. At the moment, with no Slurm whatsoever on the sound, you've got very clean repetition of the sound. The tap, you hear them. As you increase the Slurm, it adds smearing, modulation. Basically, you're getting less attack and you're getting towards a reverby type of sound.
I like that. I like the Slurm.
It's really nice, huh? So a combination of the Slurm, of all the other parameters, and it's going to be interesting, yeah? And the chop, it's like an LFO kind of auto volume. So it's an LFO on the delay. So you can set it up. So you see here, it doesn't happen all the time. Let's put it to something. You see here. Here there's constantly, whereas here, so again, very interesting rhythmical movement that you can create with the LFO and the delay interacting between all of each other, which is really, 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 really cool. So let's try it again on this synth now, because we were playing with it earlier on and we were getting some really interesting texture with it. So I'm going to put it there for now. I'm going to turn it down, no slurm. I'm going to have a bit of tone right up. And what I love doing with that is increasing just the tap. I'm going to give you some interesting.
Well, Carlos has just asked the price. It was $49
Fortunately,
until
5th of September.
Yeah.
So you see the kind of interesting stuff we're starting to. You hear the lovely texture going on in the background?
Yeah, I love that. Is there a particular style of music you think this is?
I think it works for everything, I think. You look at the lovely texture. love all those textures. I mean, it's like hearing lots of different parts coming into the, you know what I mean? And then obviously, you can after that change, you can get it. And then finally, what we have is this ribbon thing. So if you remember from the black hole, with the ribbon you can automate any of those parameters.
Yes, I do
and
remember
morph
this.
it, and that was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe we could try, let's say, okay, I'm gonna go totally maximum here when it goes there, and here at the minimum with the tap. And then maybe we can do a tone thing as well. So we could have it starting here, but then have it going up here, and also here have it maybe going into a reverb. So we're going from so we can go from there, and I love the fact that it's completely seamless. So you can assign any controllers to it.
Yeah, that is a nice feature.
So that's pretty much all the features of this device, and obviously once you start playing with it.
So you've got the hot switch there as well.
See, put it straight away. Literally a very simple drum beat, simple arpeggiator. Both of them going in there, and you're creating.
Sounds so full and layered.
So full and layered and. So yeah, that's kind of like giving you a bit of an overview of all the parameters and the kind of texture. I mean, there's a lot more you can do with it when you start doing glitchy effect and stuff on drums, you know. For example, if we were to, let's stop that arpeggiator and just let's have the drum. So if, for example, I'm only putting it on the hi-hat. And I think I've seen there were some presets glitchy effects, so let's see what they do. A wide, I think, for percussion to create some rhythmical stuff without you having to program and just play with it as a performance. I think you'll get a lot out of it, and on synth as well. You've seen all those massive texture that you're getting behind it, and I love it because you don't have that massive tail. Normally, to get that kind of depth and massive effect going on, you probably would need an effect of 3 seconds and that kind of stuff. But here, when you do it, you've got this massive thing, but as soon as you stop the sound, it stops. So that means you don't have the sound masking the others behind. So I think for electronic music it's really cool because you're still going to keep the presence that you need sometime in some style. Yeah, I mean, do we have any question at all? Or?
No, we don't actually. No questions today.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, so I think that's us for this plugin.
Cool.
Ready?
$49 until September 5th. And if you would like to learn more about DJing, music production, mixing or sound engineering, head to our website pointblankmusicschool.com where you can find out more about our courses. And don't forget 20% off all of our online and LA courses at the moment. And have a lovely weekend.
Indeed.
Bye.
Bye.